buckle up here on Extreme Sports as we start a brand new work week. It is a Monday, the 24th day of February for 2025, and the plate is full here today. Going to be talking about the Nebraska men's basketball team. They've got a big game tonight against a nationally ranked opponent in Michigan. That game will be at PBA. The Nebraska women's basketball team, they dropped a decision yesterday to Washington. We'll tell you about that coming up. Got some comments from Husker head coach Amy Williams straight ahead. The Nebraska baseball and softball teams had a busy weekend. Hastings College softball team, they played in Sioux Center, Iowa over the weekend, and we'll tell you how they did. Baseball team had their games canceled out in Denver, Colorado. They're getting set for their home opener coming up this weekend. The Hastings College basketball teams, they were in action over the weekend in Crete against Doane. The GPAC postseason basketball tournament brackets have been announced. We'll tell you where everybody shakes out there. And the UNK basketball teams are in action as well. Postseason basketball continues tonight for some high school teams in the area. We'll check all the schedules coming up. That's just some of the things we'll be talking about here today as we welcome in Tyson Urbaniak from the Western Studios this morning. Good morning. Hopefully you had a good weekend, my man.
Yeah, sounds like a week's worth of content that we're going to try to pack into a 1 hour show here. So postseason getting underway, and had a good weekend over here on the Western Front. Caught some international soccer yesterday, part of the She Believes Cup. The women taking down Australia 2-1, and in a big time matchup coming up on a Wednesday against Japan. That's just on the group stages there. And of course, plenty of baseball as the spring training games got underway. The World Baseball Classic going on. Husker baseball was happening. So watched a lot of ball. Watched a lot of diamond sports over the weekend as well. But sitting back and getting ready to go here for another week, and anxiously awaiting the beautiful temperatures this week. That's, I think, the big story. And I was just talking and getting out with folks over the weekend, and we were all just in agreement. It's so nice to get out of the house for a day. It's so nice to be able to enjoy an evening where you're not freezing your ass off. So much nicer weather this weekend. A lot of folks headed up north to go see the ponies, and there was some horse racing that took place over the weekend. So yeah, just overall great week.
Tell me, was it the shorts weather this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Did the shorts come back out?
Shorts, Friday afternoon. Shorts were already out.
My wife asked me, "You think Tyson's got his shorts on this weekend?" I said, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about it. So.
Zero thought went through by him, and I even got as far as yesterday. Turned off the heater for a bit, opened up a few windows just to let some air go through the house, because you get cooped up and it's just nice to push some air through. So yeah, went up and even opened up a window or two for a brief period of time yesterday afternoon before it got a little bit chilly. So
we're going to see
gorgeous.
We're going to see 50s and maybe some 60s later on this weekend. We'll tell you about that coming up. Did you survive the earthquake?
What?
We had a little earthquake overnight.
Oh.
Right here.
Put that in my news.
Yeah, you better slide that in your news. A 2.8 earthquake was reported 29 miles south of Hastings. It occurred last night at 8. I think it was 8:43. It was last night, our time. So a small earthquake, 2.8. Probably didn't feel anything. I didn't certainly feel anything. I think that was about the time I went to bed. So it might have been an earthquake with me plopping into bed. Yeah, that could be the reason for the earthquake. But yeah, 2.8 earthquake was reported 29 miles south of Hastings at about 8:43. I think I read this morning.
Wow.
So that's just I survived, and there's no damage reported over here in the Eastern Studios. Hopefully, no damage in the Western Studios either.
Huh. No, I had no idea that we had an earthquake. So, I guess, The U.S. Geological Service that measures all those earthquakes, that's not a very common place that I go to get my news every morning. I'm not hopping on their website and saying, I wonder what the Richter scale readings were this overnight when I was sleeping. So yeah, kudos to the gang that went out and found that baby. But yeah, 2.8 south of Hastings. We'll get you some more deets on that.
Well, there's not many details, I don't think.
Oh, no.
I don't think there's any
Time,
damage.
location.
Yeah, there's no damage being
No
reported.
damage reported. Huh.
So anyway, that's how we start our day, with an earthquake on a Monday.
On any other day, that might seem strange.
Yeah. The state wrestling championships concluded over the weekend in Omaha for the boys. The girls had earlier in the week. The boys wrapped up their championships on Saturday. Omaha Creighton Prep won in Class A with 251 points. Grand Island finished in second with 137.5, and Kearney was fifth. Actually, Grand Island was fourth. Grand Island was fourth with 137.5 points, and Kearney finished fifth with 125. Omaha Scott won in Class B with 205 points. York was fourth with 104.5, and Hastings finished in 18th with 39.5 points. Battle Creek, the state champions in Class C, with 119.5 points. They edged out Minden, who finished in second place with 118.5. St. Paul was fifth with 68.5, and Donovan Trumbull was 15th with 42.5 points. Then in Class D, it was Burwell coming out on top in the team race with 114 points. Sandy Creek finished in ninth with 44. Ravenna was 12th with 42.5, and Wilcox Hildreth was 13th with 41 points. So that wraps up the wrestling season for the high schoolers as the state high school wrestling championships came to an end on this Saturday at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. Congratulations, Omaha Creighton Prep, Omaha Scott, Battle Creek, and Burwell for winning team championships over the weekend.
Yeah, I caught the end of that Class C battle on Saturday, and that was just fun to watch. Back and forth. It came down to the very final matchup. There was a Minden wrestler, and he was in a tight battle. I think it was two wrestlers that had, maybe between the two of them, I think one loss on the season. And I can't remember what weight class, but it came down to like the final 3 seconds of the match, and all he needed to do was get an escape to maybe send that to bonus time. Couldn't get the escape. There was actually a reversal of points that ended up going down in that matchup. So kind of a little bit of controversy in there, but fine margins for Class C, and yeah, unable to get that victory, unable to edge Battle Creek in points was Minden, but it went down to the very final weight class on Saturday over there in Omaha, and the atmosphere, you could just hear. I mean, it was absolutely electric for Class C.
All right, Amber chiming in on our Facebook talker here this morning. She says somebody in Lawrence, their whole house shook because of the earthquake overnight. So if you had any experience dealing with the earthquake overnight, give us a call or leave us a message on our social media sites. You can call us if you'd like, 402-834-1330, 402-834-1330. That's our direct line into our Huddle Up studios here today. Give us a call or, again, leave us a message on our social media sites. A little earthquake overnight, 2.8 on the Richter scale. Somebody said they had their house shaken in Lawrence, Nebraska.
But it doesn't sound like it was like a doomsday scenario.
No, I don't.
Like we don't have like big crevices going through the crater of, creating a crater in south central Nebraska.
I didn't even know we had a fault line, or what they ever call it.
We've had earthquakes before.
Usually down around the
Sand
border.
Hills, right?
I think they've had some down around the border of Nebraska and Kansas, like south of, down around Guide Rock, Red Cloud, down in that area.
They happen on such a frequent basis that the two guys that are experts on nothing have no idea where the fault line is even, and how to go about getting earthquake information. So
I just happened to notice that 2.8 on the Richter scale overnight.
Caught her scrolling
Let's see. The nation's number one ranked team in women's basketball was beaten yesterday.
There you go.
Notre Dame, who just got to the top spot last week for the first time since 2019, they were beaten yesterday by 13th ranked North Carolina State. They beat Notre Dame 104-95. North Carolina State guard Zoe Brooks scored a career-high 33 points for the Wolfpack. So Notre Dame, they go down as the nation's number one women's basketball team. We'll see if they stay atop the ratings when the polls come out. Probably not. It'll be out later on today. So just a couple of things I wanted to bring up here before we really get off and rolling here today. The Nebraska women's basketball team, they had a stinker yesterday on Senior Day. In Lincoln, they lost to Washington 83-62. They gave up a huge run in the third quarter, and they were outscored by the Huskies 21-5 in the third quarter, and that pretty well put the game away. Huskers losing by 21 yesterday, and they move on. They will not have a midweek game this week. That will be a bye for them. They'll play on Sunday. They'll close out the regular season Sunday at Northwestern, and they get into the Big Ten Conference Tournament.
It sounds like they kind of need that midweek game or need that lack of midweek game, I should say, to get a little extra rest, get a little extra practice, get some players healthy. I think that's kind of been a big thing. Have you ever seen a team that's had so many bumps and bruises and so many, injuries, yes, but key players that have been getting hurt that they've had to go through over there and cycle through and kind of have that next man up mentality. So yeah, they just need a week to get healthy.
Well, we lost Potts and we lost Widener before the season really got started, and then Brent Prince went down a week or so ago. This bye week is probably going to help. So she's got a whole another week to recover. Hopefully we'll get her back onto the floor Sunday. Certainly, hopefully by the Big Ten tournament, which is coming up next week. So Brent Prince has been on the injured list here for the past week or so. The Nebraska men, they're going to be in action tonight as they take on Michigan at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Big turnaround for the Wolverines. They were at the bottom or near the bottom of the Big Ten conference race a season ago. This year they're in second place. Mm-hmm. They're 12-3 in the league. They're 20-6 overall. So the Huskers with a big test tonight at home against Michigan. Huskers are 4-3 against a ranked team so far this year. Here's another big game for Nebraska. We've been talking about it for the past month or so. 17-10. We're 7-9 in the league. I think we're firmly entrenched into the Big Ten tournament coming up. But does Nebraska still need a couple of wins to maybe secure a spot in the big dance?
At this point, I think you need to pick up wins for the mentality of that locker room. You need to pick up wins for maybe just a little bit more confidence heading into postseason play. Because if you flash back last week, that's not the level that's going to be tournament-worthy basketball. That's not the level that's going to get you a couple games in the Big Ten tournament, get you prepared for a potential run in March. You start off and play like that with turnovers and just kind of a lot of
lackluster play.
Lackluster play. I'm trying to figure out the word I wanted to say defensively, but the awareness was just not there. So, yeah, lackluster play. Crap could be another easy four-letter word for the way to describe what we saw last week. But now you go in against a Michigan team, ranked. You're at home. And interestingly enough, Vegas has put this baby at a pick'em.
Really?
This game is a straight-up 20-6, number 12 in the nation versus a 17-10 Nebraska team at home. And Vegas says, we're not going to throw a spread on that.
Trap game.
Trap game. It's
trap game. Here we go. Nebraska will win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've hit the last two or three that you have
traps?
Released the spread, and I said it was a trap game. Nebraska will win tonight.
Trap game.
Trap game. Vegas has got a ranked team, ranked 12th in the country.
Trying to get money to flow towards it.
Oh, yeah. It's a trap game. Nebraska will win tonight. Mark my word. Take her to the bank. You write those picks down all the time. write this one down. Take Nebraska tonight in a pick'em against Michigan.
I rode Pick'em down for the 9th race at Fauner on Saturday.
That didn't go well, did it?
Nope. No, that was...
I think Jim's pick was finished third. Is that right?
Yeah, so he threw a couple of other horses in there along with the Axel Steele. Axel Steele finishes third in that race. He was the favorite.
And he only paid like $2.80.
Yeah, for a show ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, and I threw him in a couple different Exacta boxes, along with a few of the other horses in there. And I think it was like the 12-1 horse. It was the 5 horse, whatever horse that was. He ended up paying off like 19. So some middle of the road horses picking up the win. But I heard from other people there, like favorites or, just kind of the way you typically handicap races. It was a wild weekend of racing over at Fauner, and they said it was pretty unpredictable. So it wasn't certainly by the book, but it was good to get the horse racing season underway, and good to get people back out at the track. One of the best springtime traditions.
We'll talk to Jim on Friday about that. Did he have any other winners?
I didn't.
He threw out a bunch for us on Friday.
Yeah, there's a couple like stakes races that were going off at like really, really early in the morning over in Saudi Arabia that I wasn't glued into. Didn't wake up to go place my wager on that. But yeah, so I kept tabs. On the Grasmick Stakes.
Yeah,
and that was a loss for me.
Saturday night when I got home from basketball, we were out at dinner. And I had to pull out the phone and get the Fauner Park race results just because what Jim mentioned on Friday. I said, I wonder if he hit that race.
Wonder how he did.
He finished third.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we'll have Jim back on Friday morning. We'll talk horses again at 7:30 on Friday morning. It's a 7:17, just getting started here on Huddle Up for this Monday as we get our first update on news this morning.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where since 1946, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been a part of the Hastings community, and its community that is at the heart of everything they do. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join, and joining, well, it's as simple as opening a primary savings account. And with a convenient drive-up, 24-hour ATM, and a friendly staff that knows each member by name, why would you go anywhere else? Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Over the weekend, a homicide investigation in Clay County. At approximately 8:30 Friday night, the Clay County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call about a domestic disturbance at a residence in Harvard. Upon arrival, deputies located a deceased woman with a gunshot wound and a man suffering from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. There were also 3 young children inside the home when deputies arrived. Preliminary investigators believe the male subject shot the female and then shot himself. The children not injured. The victim has been identified as 35-year-old Heather Gray. The suspect, her husband, 39-year-old Toby Gray. Toby was transported to the Aurora Memorial Hospital and has since been flown to Bryan West Campus in Lincoln with life-threatening injuries, where he remains in critical condition. Troopers are maintaining custody of Gray at the hospital. Governor Jim Pillen has ordered that all U.S. and state flags will be flown at half-staff coming up on Thursday for the funeral of Nebraska State Patrol Trooper Kyle McCasey. McCasey was killed in the line of duty on February 17th while responding to a crash scene on Interstate 80. Services will be at 11 o'clock in the morning at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Flags should be flown at half-staff from sunrise until sunset that day. Attorney General Mike Hilgers has issued a consumer alert regarding scams that have begun circulating in Lancaster County, and he believes will start to spread statewide. Scammers using specific personal details and scare tactics to pressure Nebraskans into sending money. Multiple Nebraskans are receiving threats from unknown numbers or emails from people claiming to harm them or their families. These threats seem more credible because scammers have the victim's address, family member names, and other personal details. Scammers can also send violent photos to scare the victims further. Scammers are also claiming to be authority figures like FBI or police to get victims to comply. It is now coming up on 7:21. We'll swing things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, the Nebraska men's basketball team will battle 12th-ranked Michigan tonight at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The Huskers are 17-10 in the season, 7-9 in the conference. The Wolverines are 20-6. They're 12-3 in the league. Tip-off will be at 7 tonight on FS1. The Nebraska women's basketball team was outscored 21-5 in the third quarter and dropped an 83-62 decision to Washington yesterday at PBA. Alexis Markowski had 19 points, 12 rebounds for the Huskers. Jessica Petrie had 10 points and 10 rebounds. Nebraska now 18-10 in the season, 9-8 in the conference. They'll close out the regular season on Sunday at Northwestern. The Nebraska baseball team went 1-2 against Louisiana this weekend. The Huskers won Friday night's game 6-1, but dropped a doubleheader on Saturday 4-1 and 10-2. Nebraska is now 3-4 in the season. They'll play in the Frisco Baseball Classic this weekend. The Nebraska softball team went 4-2 in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic in Cathedral City, California over the weekend. The Huskers beat Baylor, San Jose State, Howard, and Utah, but lost to UCLA and to Duke. Nebraska will play 5 games in the Wichita State tournament coming up this weekend. Hastings College softball team went 2-2 in Sioux Center, Iowa over the weekend. The Broncos beat Mayville State and Dakota State, but lost to St. Mary's and to William Penn. The Broncos are now 3-3 on the season and will play a doubleheader at Kansas Wesleyan on Tuesday. Hastings College baseball team had their 3-game series against Dickinson State canceled yesterday out in Denver, Colorado. The Broncos are scheduled to play a 4-game series against Mayville State this weekend out of Duncan Field. Hastings College wrestling team finished 5th in the GPAC Wrestling Championships with 76 points. Doane won the event with 218. Cohen Mannern of Hastings won the championship at 285 pounds. Hastings College men's basketball team closed out the season on Saturday with a 70-58 win over Doane. Ben Boudreau finished with 16 points for the Broncos. Hastings ends the season 5-22, 4-16 in the conference. Hastings College women's basketball team beat Doane 88-68. Mariah Vila and Ann Bose scored 19 points apiece for the Broncos. Hastings now 22-6. They're 17-5 in the conference and will play host to Northwestern in the first round of the conference tournament on Wednesday. Tip-off will be at 7. Dordt will be the number 1 seed for the GPAC women's postseason tournament and will play host to Concordia on Wednesday. In the other first-round games, again, Northwestern is at Hastings, Morningside is at Briar Cliff, and Doane is at Dakota Wesleyan. Dordt is also the number 1 seed for the men's tournament and will host Mount Marty on Wednesday. In the other games, Dakota Wesleyan is at Morningside, Briar Cliff is at Northwestern, and Midland is at Concordia. The UNK men's basketball team beat Missouri Southern 88-78 on Saturday. The women lost to Missouri Southern 54-51. Both teams will play at Fort Hays State on Wednesday. Postseason high school basketball continues tonight at the B7 Subdistrict Tournament at Grand Island Northwest. Northwest will play Lexington at 5:30 tonight, followed by Hastings High against McCook at 7:15. The Tigers lost to the Bison 48-35 earlier this season. We'll have the Hastings High game for you tonight on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 7 o'clock. There's also some boys tournament action going on tonight. Ord will play Broken Bow in Holdridge. Gothenburg will face St. Paul in Geneva. Highline will play Heartland at Central Catholic. Twin River will face Superior in Alma. Wilcox-Hildreth will battle Franklin in Pleasanton. And Giltner will take on Harvard in Shelton. NASCAR yesterday, Christopher Bell won the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Carson Hocevar was second, followed by Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, and Ricky Stanhouse. That's a check on your sports headlines this morning, coming up on 7:25 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
As we go back to work and school on this Monday, the best weather of the week will arrive today with highs, that's right, in the mid-60s. It'll be a little breezy. We'll have a west-northwest wind 5 to 10 with gusts to 20s, but we can deal with that. Plenty of sunshine today. Overnight tonight, we dip into the upper 20s. 67 on Tuesday. A chance of some light rain maybe Tuesday night. Then on Wednesday, we'll bring the wind out, where we'll have some gusts up to the mid-30s with highs in the mid-50s and plenty of sunshine.
As you wake up, get going this morning. We've got west winds at 8 miles per hour, clear skies. It is 38 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success, and now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Havronik, you're listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Monday. Again, the 24th day of February for 2025. Like the weather forecast, boy, highs in the 60s today. 60s, get out and enjoy that. It was just nice seeing people out and about yesterday in particular, and you didn't have to worry about grabbing the coat before you head outside or warming up the car.
No worries about warming up the car. Worries about going through that sloppy, slushy, fun mess that's left over as the snow slowly starts to melt. I think that was kind of the biggest thing, is people just kind of sliding and sloshing around in that. Car washes are going to have a great day today.
I saw that yesterday. People were starting to wash their cars yesterday, and I thought to myself, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of snow yet to melt, and this week it's going to be melting, and it's going to be ice and going to be slush and water all over the place. Why are they washing? They're worried about washing their car yesterday.
Yeah, don't worry about washing your car now.
No, you wait, maybe next weekend.
Yeah, give it a hot minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, car washes. I mean, I guess people are just anxious to go through the car wash again. I don't know.
God.
I literally saw yesterday, and I shake my head at sometimes the great conversations that get circulated on these like Hastings and Adams County group chats that are going on. I saw one yesterday. I just started laughing and chuckling to myself. They're like, "Is there a reputable car wash company here in Hastings?" And I'm like, reputable? There's 1,000 car washes. Pick one. They all do the same thing. I don't think that there's any that are like unreputable or not reputable or have any more prestige over the other. Maybe you get to like vacuum out your car if you really want to go with like the super wash package. But they're all the same damn things. Just find a car wash and go through it.
Put your money in or your card in and let it wash your car. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
It's not a. We don't need a reputable car wash.
No, we don't.
What are unreputable car wash companies? Like, what would constitute as that? Like, what previous bad experience have you had in another community that you have to ask the folks around town whether or not there's a reputable car wash company? Like, I just shake my head.
Somebody's trying to stir the pot.
Probably.
Stir the pot. Come up with something.
Probably because of that car wash that's opening up, like between 12th and 14th.
If it ever opens up.
If it ever comes in. We had to clear out a bunch of space for a car wash because we don't have enough of those in Hastings. We have, I think, more car washes than cars last time I checked. It's also National Tortilla Day
Oh,
today.
I love tortillas.
National Tortilla Chip Day today, so chips and dip might be in order for a little lunch.
A little chips and salsa. Mm-hmm. That it? That's the only thing on the agenda?
There was one day on the agenda. I did, however, find out, we can get into it a little bit more details. I pulled up a press release from the U.S. Geological Service. Yeah, they have press releases, and they send them out after every quake, so they're really handy. A 2.8 magnitude earthquake struck near the Kansas-Nebraska border. Was recorded at 2:46 a.m., and I had to do a little bit of math because they use like kilometers, and that's weird. So
we had one at 2:46 as well.
2:46 a.m., 17 miles north of Superior.
No, see, that's the second one.
This is a 2.8.
It was a 2.8 we had at 8:42.
At 8:40?
8:40 last night.
Unless this is like 2:46 a.m. some weird international time zone, which could be. That could be, because I got it off the U.S. Geological Service website, so it might not be tabulated to the right time zone. I didn't even look. Anyways, it had a depth of 9.7 kilometers, making it a shallow quake, which often results in stronger surface shaking. Residents in part of southern Nebraska and northern Kansas might have felt minor tremors, although no damage or injuries has been reported. The U.S. Geological Service said that 8 citizens responded to confirming the shaking. Earthquakes of this magnitude are uncommon but not unheard of in the central part of the United States. Region occasionally experiencing minor seismic activity due to ancient fault lines. Authorities advise the residents to report any structural damage. So there you go.
All right, so if you had any experience with the earthquakes last night, 2.8 on the Richter
I'm
scale.
guessing that it's the 846 quake. I'm guessing that the U.S. Geological Service put their time zone off.
Well, I don't know where they're located for sure.
It is in, we got IT man to the rescue. UTC time. What is UTC?
Universal
time. So 2:46 would then be 8:48.
That's whatever.
Shane's got her mathed out.
That whatever. UTC time.
So
yeah, that's 8:48 Central Time. 2:48 is 2 UTC time. 2:48 is 8:48.
Be 8:46 p.m.
All right. So
Thank you, Shaner.
That's the same quick then.
Yep.
South of Hastings. It certainly didn't bother me one bit.
I did not feel it
at
all.
I think I was going, like I said, that's about the time I went to bed last night.
We will rebuild.
Amy Williams. Let's get to Amy Williams. Poor old Amy Williams, the head coach for the Nebraska women's basketball team. Her team played a all right first half. They had a stinker in the third quarter. They were outscored 21-5 in the third quarter yesterday by Washington. Huskies beating the Huskers yesterday 83-62, and the coach says obviously the third quarter was the big difference in the game.
The tale of two halves, and we just did not come out of that third quarter. A lot of credit belongs to Washington. I thought they did some really nice things. They executed offensively, but they made some adjustments there in the third quarter, and we had some uncharacteristic turnovers that led to some run-out baskets for them, and just couldn't get things going. Obviously, that 21-5 third quarter, a big difference in the ballgame.
But the coach credits her team. She says they fought to the end.
It's kind of a tough balance of, throwing in, trying to, put on a little pressure, do some things, trap and, try to force them to speed up as they're trying to milk the clock and slow things down and work the lead. So kind of a balance between that and then just staying locked in and focused on being the best version of ourselves. And what it comes down to is character. And that's something we talk about a lot, is what type of character do you have? Are you somebody that's going to continue to fight and continue to scratch and continue to claw and give everything you've got for your team? And I think that's something we've seen out of this team over and over and over is a team that's not going to give up.
And the Huskers also honored 4 other seniors yesterday before the ball game.
This group of young ladies and what they've meant to our program is just hard for me to really put into words. And collectively as a group, there's lots of accomplishments there. But the successes, the NCAA tournament win, the things they've done to elevate our program on the court, but nothing more than the way they have established a culture for Nebraska women's basketball with just competitive, selfless players that want to celebrate each other at a high level, and they've just thrown themselves into that, and that's from bench mob, from whatever the case might be. They've really contributed to that and pretty much established that, so I'm so grateful to them for it.
The 4 seniors: Alberta Rimdahl, Kendall Cooley, Kendall Moriarty, and also Alexis Markowski. The 4 seniors they honored yesterday. So Huskers losing on senior day. They got 1 game left in the regular season. That'll be at Northwestern on Sunday. And I think it's safe to say the Huskers, as far as the women are concerned, are also on the bubble to make the NCAA tournament. I haven't seen the latest projections for the women's bracket, but I would certainly imagine the Huskers would be on the bubble at this time. They've got to win some games down the stretch and probably win some games in the Big Ten tournament in order to get in.
Yeah, I'm not circling. The women is one that are that really can afford to drop one right now. They got to play good down the stretch. They got to flex a little bit in the Big Ten tournament. Like you said, pick up a couple games just to shore up that resume enough to try to slide on into the NCAA basketball tournament. But, I think the selection committee is also going to be very knowledgeable of some of the injuries and some of the bumps and bruises that have occurred. And just like, in different sports, and maybe apples and oranges a little bit, but when you're comparing like Florida State's resume and you say, well, they don't have some of that star power they did when they were picking up their wins, and that's probably not going to be a team that's going to make for a reasonable case to throw into the postseason. So, I think you got to show up and you got to really solidify that tournament resume to get the attention of the committee for sure.
All right, so the Huskers, again, they won't play a midweek game. They won't play again until Sunday. The men on the court tonight against Michigan. Nebraska baseball. We played Louisiana over the weekend. 1-2, the Huskers went against the Raging Cajuns. We won Friday's game 6-1, but then dropped a doubleheader 4-1 and 10-2. Strikeouts were a problem for the Huskers offensively.
That's
22 strikeouts in like 2 games or something.
The Bats have started off extremely slow this year for Nebraska baseball, and really kind of a different a 180 from a year ago, where I thought it was the arms that came out, and the arms were not ready for the start of the season, and really kind of took us a long time to get our rotation, to get our bullpen, to get that pitching staff solidified. This year, it's the Bats, and they've just been cold. As the season progresses, they'll slowly start to warm up, but we're dropping some of these games. I think you had a little mixed expectations, right? Because you beat Vanderbilt, and that's a top 25 win, and everybody's thinking, all right, well, we're going to be able to be competitive with these powerhouses in the Big Ten, and maybe have a chance to run roughshod through the Big Ten. And then you turn around and you lose to Grand Canyon. Now, albeit Grand Canyon did make a regional last season ago, and then you dropped 2 out of 3, but it's just been a slow start to the offense. I think once the Bats go, this team has a chance to really fly. So my message, I think, from the overall weekend and just watching a little bit of Husker baseball and checking out the recaps, and stay patient with this team. It's not going to happen overnight. We're not going to be undefeated to race out of the gates. But I think if you stay patient with this baseball team, it's going to be rewarding. And I still see a regional in our future, and flirting with a potential super regional. This team's good enough. We just got to get the Bats to wake up.
We're playing the Frisco Baseball Classic this weekend.
That'll be fun. Some powerhouses in there.
You heading to California to watch that one?
I don't think it's in the budget. Think it's in the budget to send me to Cali.
Well, that's good because they're not playing in California.
Frisco, Texas.
Yeah, it's Frisco, Texas. Remember
the same mistake we made during the bowl season.
I was just going to throw that out there. Yeah, I thought you were going to board the plane and cover the game for us out there in San Francisco. Guess what? They're not in San Francisco.
They're the wrong damn state.
They're in Frisco, Texas this weekend.
Yeah, we made watching the Husker baseball, covering the Huskers from my phone while sitting on a beach in California. That sounds a great idea.
Yeah, we made that mistake during the football season when they played the Frisco Bowl. We thought they were all heading out to California to play. Hell no. We found out the next day it was in Frisco, Texas.
We are not experts on geography. We are not experts on telling time.
We're experts on nothing. Little Lee, has he checked in with us yet today?
No.
Little Lee,
they split the weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, they went 2-2 in Sioux Center. I just want to know how his times were in Sioux Center, his off times. Little Lee, he's part of the Hastings College softball coaching staff. So he was in Sioux Center, Iowa over the weekend. He's a proud supporter of this program.
Yeah,
just wanted to make sure
been since day one.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure he got back okay from Sioux Center.
We've got a morning from Tammy.
And what he did actually during his off time in Sioux Center. Yeah, good morning, Tammy.
Is there much to do in your off time in Sioux Center? Is that why you were referring to what did you do?
Well, that's what I told you. I told you Friday that there was
trying to strategize of trying to find something to do next time.
I think they had a Saturday night game, but there was probably some time afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So little Lee, he hasn't checked in. Maybe he's not back yet,
or recovering from the weekend exhaustion.
No, I bet he's not. He's maybe not be back yet.
Yeah, could.
So anyway. Looking for the whereabouts of Little Lee. He hasn't checked in on our social media sites. The baseball team had their games out in Denver. They were canceled yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to play 3 games against Dickinson State all in one day.
Oh, anyway, wow.
Yeah. That was supposed to be like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it got changed. They're going to play 3 games on Sunday. Then evidently the weather is not conducive to playing baseball at Denver this time of the year, so they just canceled all those games. Now the Broncos are going to come home. They've got a 4-game series with Mayville State scheduled for this weekend out at Duncan. Their home opener against a non-conference foe in Mayville State. What's the chances of that happening? Snow? I don't know. Snow should be gone pretty much by
weekend forecast. We're probably good to go.
We'll see if we can get The outfield is going to be mushy. God, the outfield's got to be mushy with all that snow and all that moisture in the ground.
Well, it depends on how soon they cleared it out.
No, there's still snow.
Is there still?
I
checked?
drove by there.
This weekend.
What's the
50s?
weather forecast?
50s, partly cloudy.
All right, so
Going
we'll
to be
see
sunny.
Let's see if the field's going to be ready.
I think we're good.
Mayville State and Hastings College with some baseball this weekend.
It looks like we're not dropping out of the 50s until next Wednesday, and it's going to be windy, and you know that means it's going to be blowing in something. So the overall long-term outlook next Wednesday, 44 with high winds, and it might be blowing in that last grip of winter weather. You said it wasn't over.
You know something's going to happen yet.
I think we're due for one more good.
Well, yeah, we're not in the
good
clear
old
yet.
kick to the stomach from winter.
We're
weather.
we're not in the clear yet. I don't think. What do you think?
We'll get one more. One more winter blast. And then it'll be done.
One more blast.
One more blast, and then it's over.
Like 10 inches.
No, like maybe like a nice 3 to 5 fluff that then melts the very following day.
All right, we'll see what happens. See what happens weather-wise. The basketball teams, we were in Crete on Saturday. Hastings College men, they ended up winning their last 2 games of the season.
Yeah.
The Broncos knocking off Doane on Saturday, 70-58. They beat Midland last week as well, so the Broncos went 2-0 on the final week of the regular season. Ben Boudreaux, as I mentioned, had 16 points in the ball game. Hastings ends the year 5-22, 4-16 in the conference. So we go to winning the GPAC regular season championship a year ago to finishing next to the last this year. So Broncos missed the postseason tournament on the men's side.
You're not going to get a generational athlete come through like Reggie all the time, and I think you could clearly tell what kind of impact he made on that basketball program, and what kind of success they were able to have because of just having to account for him in the lineup. So you take that piece out, a lot of question marks. We're heading into how we're going to piece this team around him or without him, and I think it took some growing pains, and as you mentioned, they found their stride towards the end of the season.
It wasn't just Reggie. We had like 5 seniors that played a lot last year, so it was Reggie plus the disappearance of 5 seniors. It just took some time to get going. Never really found the niche, so to speak, until the final week of the season. So the Hastings College men's basketball season is over. The women, they picked up a win over Doane on Saturday. Now they will play in the GPAC tournament beginning Wednesday. They'll play Northwestern, a team we just beat last week, and we have beaten them twice this year. We play them for the 3rd time. That's always scary. You play a team for the 3rd time in the season, and 2nd time in 2 weeks. That's going to be a Wednesday first-round game at the Osborne Sports Complex. It'll tip off at 7. We'll have it for you here on Extreme Sports beginning at 6:45 on Wednesday, but never can tell. I like the way the Broncos are playing right now on the women's side of things. They have looked good. They won like 9 games in a row and 11 out of 12 or something down the stretch here. But anytime you play a team for the 3rd time is scary.
Yeah, anytime you play a team twice, right? I mean, that's what kind of the old coaching adage is, play them twice, they get another look at you. So it's hard enough to play a team 2 times throughout the course of a season, and then you throw a 3rd matchup in there, and that Northwestern team's not a slouch either. So
no, they're good.
That's a good basketball team that Hastings College is taking care of. So yeah, there's some reason for concern, I think, but at the same time, you gotta go in confident with the fact that you've got 2 wins, and we'll see what shakes out. But conference tournament time, anything can happen. I mean, and you know that as well as anybody, having covered these conference tournaments throughout the course of your Bronco broadcasting career. So it's gonna be a wild and fun. That's why we play the game. Wild and fun fight to the finish. Tammy says we're dreaming, by the way, with our winter weather predictions.
What do you mean we're dreaming? We're gonna have more.
Dreaming.
We're gonna have more than just one more dash of snow. Or are we dreaming that we're gonna be playing baseball this weekend? She says we're dreaming. We dream a lot on this show. Yeah, we go through the entire hour basically dreaming about stuff.
Please hit a Blazing 5. Please hit a Blazing 5. Please hit a Blazing 5. Yeah.
Tammy says we're going to wear our muck boots.
I think it'll be fine. I think the field will be ready. Play ball. Let's go.
I'll drive by today and see if there's still snow in the field.
Give me a weather report.
Yeah, I'll drive by today and see.
We'll watch.
So, just some of the things that's going on in sports here today. Again, if you'd like to chime in with us, give us a call, 402-834-1330, 402-834-1330, either sports-related or not. An experience maybe with the earthquake we had overnight. You go, what? Am I dreaming? What? They say earthquake? Yeah, we had a 2.8 earthquake overnight.
17 miles north of Superior. At 8:46 p.m.
It happened last night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're just waking up and tuning into us, a lot of people in the lobby here today, yeah, if you're just tuning into us, and, yeah, we had an earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
No damage being reported. So if you want to chime in on that, that's great, too. You can chime in on the social media sites or give us a call. Waking Up with Mike and Tyson. This is a Monday morning edition of Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where they've been lighting the way to financial success since 1946. Hastings Federal Credit Union, proud to be your trusted long-term financial partner that is committed to providing the highest level of quality services to all those living or working in Adams, Clay, Webster, Nuckolls, Thayer, and Fillmore counties. And with affordable loan rates, mobile banking, and a friendly staff that treats you like family, why would you go anywhere else? That's Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. Over the weekend, a homicide investigation in Clay County. At approximately 8:30 Friday night, the Clay County Sheriff's Office receiving a 911 call about a domestic disturbance at a residence in Harvard. Deputies located a deceased woman with a gunshot wound and a man suffering from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. There were also 3 young children inside the home when deputies arrived. Preliminary investigators believe the male subject shot the female and then shot himself. The children were uninjured. The victims have identified as 35-year-old Heather Gray, the suspect her husband, 39-year-old Toby Gray. Toby was transported to the Aurora Memorial Hospital and since been flown to Bryan West Campus in Lincoln with life-threatening injuries, where he remains in critical condition. Troopers are maintaining custody of Gray while at the hospital. Governor Jim Pillen ordered that all U.S. and Nebraska state flags will be flown at half-staff on Thursday for the funeral of State Trooper Kyle McCasey. McCasey was killed in the line of duty on February 17th while responding to a crash on Interstate 80. Services will begin at 11 o'clock in the morning at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Flags should be flown at half-staff from sunrise until sunset that day. And a 2.8 magnitude earthquake struck near the Kansas-Nebraska border last night, according to a press release from the U.S. Geological Survey. The quake occurred at 8:46, about 17 miles north of Superior. The tremor had a depth of 9.7 kilometers, and no, I'm not going to mathematically figure out what that means, making it a shallow quake, which often results in a strong surface shaking. Residents in parts of southern Nebraska and northern Kansas might have felt the minor tremors, though no damage or injuries have been reported. And the U.S. Geological Survey says that 8 citizen responses confirmed the shaking. Earthquakes of this magnitude are uncommon but not unheard of in central United States. The region occasionally experiences minor seismic activity due to what they call ancient fault lines. Ancient fault lines. Authorities advise residents to report any structural damages. It is now 7:54. We'll rumble on back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, postseason high school basketball continues tonight at the B7 Sub-District Tournament at Northwest. Northwest will play Lexington at 5:30, followed by the Hastings High girls against McCook at 7:15. The Tigers lost to the Bison 48-35 earlier this season. We'll have the action tonight on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at about 7 o'clock. On the boys' side, Ord will play Broken Bow in Holdridge. Gothenburg will face St. Paul in Geneva. Highline will play Heartland at Central Catholic tonight. Twin River will face Superior in Alma. Wilcox-Hildreth will be in action tonight. They'll battle Franklin and Pleasanton. And Giltner will take on Harvard tonight in Shelton. As we mentioned, the GPAC postseason tournament brackets have been announced. Dordt will be the number 1 seed for the women. They will play host to Concordia on Wednesday. In the other first-round games, Northwestern is at Hastings. Morningside is at Briar Cliff, and Doane is at Dakota Wesleyan. Dordt also the number 1 seed for the men's tournament. They will host Mount Marty on Wednesday. In the other games, Dakota Wesleyan is at Morningside, Briar Cliff is at Northwestern, and Midland is at Concordia. The State High School Wrestling Championships wrapped up on Saturday at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. Omaha Creighton Prep won the boys' championship with 251 points in Class A. Grand Island was 4th at 137.5, and Kearney finished 5th with 125. Omaha Scott, the winners in Class B. York finished in 4th place with 104.5 points. Hastings High was 18th with 39.5. Battle Creek, the champions in Class C, by 1 point over Minden. St. Paul was 5th, and Donovan Trumbull finished 15th. It was Burwell winning the Class D state championship in wrestling, 114 points for Burwell. Sandy Creek was 9th, Ravenna 12th, and Wilcox-Hildreth finished in 13th place. The Nebraska women's basketball team outscored 21-5 in the third quarter yesterday. They lost to Washington 83-62. Huskers will play at Northwestern on Sunday. The Nebraska men with a big game tonight as they battle 12th-ranked Michigan at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Tip-off will be at 7 o'clock. You can see it on FS1. That's a check on your sports headlines this morning. It is now 7:57 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
As we go back to work and school on this Monday, the best weather of the week will arrive today with highs, that's right, in the mid-60s. It'll be a little breezy. We'll have a west-northwest wind 5 to 10 with gusts to 20s, but we can deal with that. Plenty of sunshine today. Overnight tonight, we dip into the upper 20s. 67 on Tuesday. A chance of some light rain maybe Tuesday night. Then on Wednesday, we'll bring the wind out, where we'll have some gusts up to the mid-30s with highs in the mid-50s and plenty of sunshine.
West winds this morning, 8 miles per hour. Clear skies. It is 38 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high speed, dirt slinging, adrenaline pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
Are you listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Monday? We survived the quake, and now we're ready to start our work week, huh?
Survive the cold, survive the quake. Like, check one, check two, excuse me. Good Lord. I'll have the same thing you do, apparently.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell that is.
It wasn't even that stressful of a weekend.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's
wasn't
not
screaming at the TV yesterday.
Yeah, we weren't screaming at anything. I had NASCAR, but I wasn't screaming at the TV yesterday.
How'd that go, by the way? I know you brought it up, and then I had spaced off.
No, you spaced it off.
Yeah.
Christopher Bell won yesterday. Christopher Bell.
Okay.
Second was Carson Hocevar. He's a new guy.
Yeah, that sounds like a new guy.
Kyle Larson third.
Hey, I know that name.
Ryan Blaney, then Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
There you go. Now you're getting more familiar.
Well, it's like
second, the Young Guns.
It's like NASCAR cannot complete a race anymore without having a spectacular crash at the end.
They have another?
Yeah, they had another crash at the end. They went into overtime. Yeah, I'm waiting to see a NASCAR race to just go to the checkered flag and the race is done. Instead, we go into overtime all the time because we always crash at the end.
Y'all, you got to figure out your rules, man. You're trying to Americanize, like, NASCAR. It's motorsports. You have 77 laps, you have 77 laps. You don't go into overtime. You don't need playoffs in motorsports. You take the best car throughout the course of the season. Go back to your roots. Overtime.
Yeah, we had overtime. We always have overtime. That's what they do.
77 scheduled laps. That it goes 77 laps. Don't make it more dramatic for the fans.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, but it screws the people that have been running at the top and avoid the accidents.
Well, usually those guys
win the races.
Usually those guys are taken out.
Yeah.
Taken out at the end.
I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I have a few. Like, you could simplify it and make it more enjoyable.
Oh, it wouldn't be more enjoyable just racing to the checkered flag. You gotta wait for the big crash at the end.
And then overtime.
And then overtime, then you get guys like Christopher Bell and Carson Hocevar running first and second. Tammy, she's chimed in on our weather forecast. She says,
more snow.
Yeah, she says we're dreaming that we're going to only have one more blast of snow. She says, get the muck boots ready because we're going to have a lot more snow yet.
I'm dreaming that the snow is gone and that sunshine will be here. Give me a Grammy. Let's go.
God. Might be. That was not good.
Oh, come on. 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm belting out Bing Crosby? Come on. You try to do Bing Crosby at 8 o'clock in the morning without a shower and an extra cup of coffee.
We're just trying to dream about the weather today.
We just don't want any more snow.
Get out and enjoy this. 67 for the high today.
Oh, it's going to be gorgeous.
It'll be a nice drive to Grand Island tonight.
Hmm?
Yeah, we'll have basketball tonight here on the air on Extreme Sports. It'll be girls action, sub-district tournament action. Hastings High girls swinging into action against McCook. It'll be the second game of two up at Northwest, as Northwest will play Lexington in the first game. Hastings High McCook, 7:15 tonight on the air with a pregame at about 7 o'clock. We'll have the action here on Extreme Sports, so we'll see if the Tigers can pull off the upset against McCook, a team that beat them earlier this season by, 13 points.
There you go. I'll have you on the audio. I'll have Huskers on the screen. My Monday's set for some hoops. Huskers, Michigan, 7 o'clock FS1.
Is that the only thing on the tube tonight?
It's really the only thing worth watching, especially if I'm going to go ahead and play your trap game and put some money on the Big Red. If I got money, I'm watching, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pick'em game tonight.
Pick'em game. As of this moment, it's still a pick.
Yeah, your $10 ain't going to drive the point spread Nebraska's way. Your $10 ain't going to move the line. So it'll be pick 'em by game time.
Yep.
So, yeah. All right. Yeah, get on the Huskers tonight.
Get on the Huskers tonight. You heard it here first.
It just looks like a trap game, and I've hit my last 3 or 4 trap games that you've told me about. It's a trap. This one's a trap game in Vegas. Hop on the Huskers tonight. All right. Well, we'll do it again tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to listen to the show again, you can just go to our podcast section and then one of our social media sites. You'll find the show right there. If you're on the Roku TV, you got that app. Like to listen to us, you can do that too. There's a section there. You can download the show and listen to us again if you'd like, 2 or 3 times if you're really bored today. Anyway, we'll be back again tomorrow morning.